Welcome back, everybody. It's the Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. We're your host. I am Brandon. I'm here joined by Steph, DJ, and the master of Will.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
We're all here. We're going to get into the topics. I probably need to grab these. Definitely forgot about that. I put on my glasses, gentlemen. I'm in the announcer. Well, I'm trying to get with you. I was like, man, it sounds much different. But yeah, so man, we're here, third episode. Thank you for everybody who's already showed support in the first two videos. We want to definitely
appreciate it. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you,
guys.
Please keep on engaging us in the comment section. We're trying to get to all the comments, because we appreciate the feedback from everybody on this one, and we're definitely gonna be more active on that one too. And so appreciate you guys for rocking with us, and we're gonna keep it coming every week for you guys. So
stay tuned in.
Definitely here at the Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. And if you haven't done so already, like, comment, and subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button right now. Let me give y'all 3 seconds. Okay, we good. So we're gonna hop right into it, gentlemen. We got some good topics lined up today. We're gonna talk about image. Image is like the big topic going on right now, I think, all over social media and other platforms. So I think, let's do our audience the favor of, bringing these topics to light a little bit too, and, fleshing these out. Right. And so the first question we're going to deal with here, is there a different value of image for men and women?
It's a good question just because I think it varies. Obviously, image is really big for men in selecting their partners. Nobody, as a man, nobody really wants a woman who is not beautiful for the most part. Image for women, I feel like they find beauty in a lot of things. I feel like that's women's gift. So I think that it's not always like, oh well, he's physically ugly, so he's ugly. They find, oh well, his personality's good. He has money.
Right, he's tall. He's short.
Let me stop. I think it does vary though.
Don't stop. Those are some good points. I was rolling with
successful.
You. Yeah. Don't slow down. I thought he was on the money. I would have gave you a new set of wheels if I thought something was off.
They definitely can find it in anything. It could just be someone's driven, someone's confidence, the way they carry themselves, the family in which they came from, so their education level.
Yeah.
Whereas I can definitely see it's a different standard for men. It tends to be a lot more shallow for the most part, or probably not even for themselves, but just what people's friends and when they get in the social groups, what people will feel most comfortable with is whatever that this fake woman that doesn't really exist. Like, she has the perfect body, extremely intelligent. She dresses sexy, but she's not a hoe. She's so many. It's like a fake woman who does not really truly exist.
Yeah.
No, I think that's super important. What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely vocalized a lot more on the women's part. I think that for men, it's more of an unspoken thing. It's like Stefan said, is women find value in more than just the exterior, more so than men, I feel like. So it's unspoken with men. It's like other things that are driving the attraction, the allure. Whereas with men, I think that's higher on the scale of factors that you're looking at.
Shallow, like Will said.
What's that?
Shallow, like Will said, right? That's what we are.
You said me?
That's what we are.
I don't know if I would call it shallow. I would say it's different tastes, right? Somebody might like impressionist. Somebody might like abstract, right? It's a preference. Both are image, based, but image driven. But you have your preference on what it is appeals to you more. Both might look nice to you, but it might be one you might lean towards versus the other. I think I would tackle it just a little different. Just because, like, is there a different value of image for men and women? I would say I agree with all the points you guys made for sure, but I would like approach it thinking like, are we talking about how the world perceives men and women, like how the media portrays men and women? You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of how, like, if I watch a movie or watch like your favorite musician, how is the world putting these women out there? And I think they actually would support exactly what we said already. Is
That's
that
what I thought.
That's the context that I was.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
speaking
okay,
from.
okay,
I was
exactly.
like, is that how I like?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like,
Okay.
Speaking, I'm speaking from that perspective.
Right.
All right, yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like, the whole image I feel like that's out there for them. I don't know if it's necessarily just men choosing this, but this is the image I feel like we're getting back. And even now, I see some women seem to be championing these things as well, versus men having to pick up that torch. Like, women have grabbed the torch almost in some instances, and it's like, yo, y'all sit down. I'm gonna run with this, and so, and almost a little too far. But no, I definitely think there's a difference, in how we're valued, especially when it comes to image. But with that being said, is social media placing too high of a value on image in modern society?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the ease of access that you have to, to see pictures, to see videos, to see, fashion. I mean, it's too easy. I mean, if you look back at before technology, how you would go about introducing or meeting someone, it's changed drastically. Maybe a relative or someone or a friend says, "Oh, I know someone who's looking to get married or looking for someone." Then they might have to send mail or it would just be
Flowers.
flowers.
Right.
It would be a completely different thing, and
Absolutely.
especially how hard it would be to connect. You're probably not going to be as sensitive to the aesthetics as much. I think. I mean, I think that might play a role in how that how people will determine what they're looking for. But I think social media is playing a major role in that.
I think social media is definitely playing a high value on the image in modern society, just because of what it presents, which is to me a platform in which people get to doctor themselves up, take the best angles and violent photos, use all different sorts of filters and capture themselves with their very best outfit on, which is everything's hanging perfectly. They could go on they can only post pictures when they go on vacations while on that vacation they could take a million pictures and then post them as the months go on, as if they're taking more trips than they're actually doing, or take pictures with people who they don't really know, but they just so happen to be around them because it just looks better for their image. And it's like people get to create a whole different persona in which a lot of times it's not real at all. But the social media allows you to even speak from a place in which you wouldn't even normally speak from. Where people will call you out, like, "Whoa, where is this coming from? Watch your mouth, for starters." Second of all, like, this is not from you. This is something that you copy and pasted, and now you're using it as your voice. This is weird.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely do think that it's changing things.
Yeah, I'm gonna third co-sign that. If you just look at the media outlets, Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook, it's what I'm gonna piggyback off of what Will just said. It's kind of a false facade because it's just that image captured in that moment, and then even in that moment, we're not even sure if that person is feeling that level of happiness. It could be just for the flick. So who knows what happens right after that flick? You could have just got into a fight. You could have just got robbed. So it's just like it's a false facade. And Instagram is perpetuating this way, way, way too much because I think people have now an image of what they're supposed to look like, and they have to try to live up to what they're supposed to look like. So like, it just makes things tough for people's self-esteem. I really don't knock anybody who's not on social media. I feel like you have a great deal of self-esteem already. If you're not on it. So yeah, I think that the media outlets is it's just perpetuating this facade, and people are just falling right into this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like a yes. I think it's definitely placing a really high. I would say too high. The words that specifically they were using the question too high for sure, because I think we've gotten to a point now where people have lost themselves. It's a complete loss of who you are. Even like the Instagram thing, the first thing I always think of is like, this is like a fake name. So everyone's like a kind of a celebrity, right? And I'm not taking anything away from anybody who likes that feeling of it. And that's great because I think it has a bring people together aspect, right? Social media overall, it really does bring people together. But I feel like it really does start warping people. I hate like scrolling through my timeline and see so many nice women, and they might have like filtered to where they're blurred themselves out of existence almost. And it's like, man, and this goes back to like kind of the first question, right? Men don't post any pictures with filters. At least none that I've seen. If y'all see men posting with filters,
I mean, I don't, but I've seen some dudes who it's not a
not
high
as popular
level.
though,
Yeah,
we can
right,
say. Okay,
right.
I got you. So like, I mean, I just feel like it's like we're in love with a false reality. I remember when filters back in the day used to be like you would black and white it and you would put sepia on it,
Yeah.
right? Make it brown or you make it black and white. Now it's like all this other stuff and that's cool tricks and stuff, but like when your regular profile picture is just like a smoothed out version of who you actually are from like the best angle, and it's just like, I mean, I do what you feel makes you feel good, but I think it's pushing the meter higher. And like kind of what we talked about last week, it's like when we were talking about buying nice things or wanting nice things or living above our means. I think this kind of feeds into that. Like, right, it makes you want things that you can't actually have, and then once you can't get those, it creates what Will brought up. Like you feel bad about it, and you want that instant gratification. I think it was Will or DJ. One of y'all had mentioned that comment.
So what I would like to jump in though, just because you had said just a lot of people have like a name that's not their name. Just to go off of that though, what I do see, my name on social media is Master of Will, which my name is Will either way. But I also, one benefit that I can see from it though is that social media, it gives people a platform to be able to brand themselves.
Absolutely.
So this is something that's very different that we haven't seen in the past, where so many people now we're seeing are becoming business owners. So even while it's something that people tend to get carried away with, it's one of those things that it can be as good or as bad as how you decide to use it and what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
absolutely.
Yeah, you could not be. Some people, they get on there and they just come on their health kick all the time, and this might not actually be them.
Right.
But what it does do also, let's not forget that there's people who tune into these pages who only see a health guru and someone who's physically fit in the gym all the time, and it motivates and inspires them.
That's
or
the
someone
truth.
can see someone who's always going on trips and looking successful and doing these things, and it might give them the extra kick to just go out there, get the job, get the career, go work hard for the house and the car that they want, and just do different things to try and better themselves. So it can be used for bad, it can be used for good. It's just a matter of what that person wants to get out of it, I think, at the end of the day.
Right, and that's why I had put in there like I think it's a great thing. Ultimately, I think it ultimately can do more good than harm, but I think the image side of it, what we happen to be talking about, just it's overinflating that.
Yeah, it's
that
something to take with a grain of salt. Like you said, people can be inspired. People can definitely be inspired.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's like I just said, it's something you could take with a grain of salt because I know it's it's so many, it's millions of users on these platforms and social media outlets, and what they see, like some people's body types are way different than a certain users, and that can influence them to get cosmetic surgery, which I really don't condone. I feel like you can be the best you can be, and just work out. Some people say, "Oh well, that doesn't work. Maybe you're not working hard enough." I, but then again, you're still comparing yourself to somebody else's body. That's not you.
Right.
So
Forgetting who you are.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the positive on the positive point up about how people put their social medias up like that, because I mean clearly there's a negative aspect, and I think that's how it initially started. Um, you know, I think that's what's getting kind of publicized more so. What is this image coming to the people who are trying to embody and put put out there for other people, but there is a benefit to that. Perhaps someone who's using a filter or changing how they're looking on their social media is doing this because that is what they aspire to be. Maybe it's not what they are currently, but that's what their goal is. And they're working to that. You don't
Absolutely.
know what's going on behind the scenes, but there is a positive aspect of it. So that's good. That's good to mention.
So with that said, do you guys think there is still a sense of self-hate regarding image and Black culture? Like, do you think social media is like tied into that?
I feel like it's changing. If you go back, like even to the '90s, I feel like there were a high level of men and women getting like perms. I don't really see that nowadays. It's I feel like natural looks are becoming more condoned. So I think that this is changing little by little, and there's like a sense of like Black empowerment for naturalness. So I mean, hairstyles that we're wearing today, when we came to the area of Niagara Falls, were not accepted.
That's very true.
Yeah, so
Even
if you go back 10 years ago,
yeah,
it wasn't like this.
I remember I cut my locks off when I was younger because I was tired of going through everything. People like kids like teasing, people pulling my hair. It's just like, yo, this is too much. Let me just cut it off and just get rid of it. I obviously eventually grew it back and got the braids and then cut that off. But anyway, but you're 100% right.
Yeah, I went through the same thing. Just having to kind of deal with being like in the city it was different. You see that it was common.
It's culture. It was
It
culture
was
over
more,
there.
yeah.
But moving to an area where that wasn't the, I guess
It wasn't until Lil Wayne.
it's a Lil Wayne, right? Yeah.
I think
started getting
I
out
want
all
to
the
give it to
time,
Chief
man.
Keef. I feel like a lot of people wanted locks when Chief Keef came out with the crazy hype video, shaking his head. I want dreads. I mean, I'm calling it locks, but they be like, I want dreads. I'm just like,
That might be it.
you a follower.
You know what it could be? It could be that the Lil Jon's, like, it was multiple celebrities who started coming to the light and was making this a popular look.
Facts, Lil Jon
So
too
I
as
think,
well.
and so, but yeah, but what about you, DJ? How do you think it's affecting Black culture,
Yeah,
or do you think it's
honestly,
since
I
it's-
had a smile when he said that because I was thinking the same thing. Like I think that it's changing, and there are probably some lingering effects to what it was initially, which was Black people not kind of accepting who they were as far as what mainstream media and advertising and that limelight projected. But I think that that's changing. There's a lot more confidence in that. But it's it's deep rooted. It's been like that for since the I don't want to give dates without reference, but yeah, I think it's been like that for a while. So it's gonna take some doing to move past it completely. But I think we're moving in the right direction.
All right. What about you, Will?
I feel like this is like a loaded question. First of all, To even consider this question it just sounds weird because is there a sense of self-hate regarding any culture? There always will be because there are people who just they lack a level of culture, they lack a level of understanding, they lack self-confidence, they lack an understanding in who they are. And until people can find a sense of self and a sense of worth within themselves, I think that there's always going to be a problem. And I'm not going to just allow this to be something that is just restricted to black culture. It just makes me feel uncomfortable to just allow this flashlight to be shined at us. Do I see? I see that I do see though with social media that people are becoming more accepting to who they are more often than we've seen in a while, just because social media allows people from far and nigh to be better connected. Whereas you see people who are gamers being able to connect with gamers, whereas your next door neighbor or your family members might not have been into that, but now you get to play with this person across the world who's really into it, or different books that you might read that other people might not have been into it, different sports that you might have liked that people who lived in your neighborhood across the street or at the gym, they might not have wanted to play it. I think that this is making the world smaller. It's making language better understood. Like it's just bringing everyone closer, and that's what I like to say about that topic.
Nice take.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing when I saw it. I was thinking image. I don't know. It's tough. I think every culture has to go through it. I think there's overwhelmingly been a bad light flashed on black culture, and even still to this day, I'm definitely gonna say I'm not gonna. I don't know if I would call it a sense of hate, because I don't know if people are doing it from a sense of hate, but it seems like a sense of ignorance. That people are promoting the things that they promote, and then other people ignorantly are promoting them and hailing them as if they are black culture, right? And it's saying like, this is the thing that these people identify with, and it goes the same for all cultures, right? Somebody might highlight something within that some people in your group are doing, and then say this is their culture, and I think that's where those like these images of hate or come from, and so. In terms of that, I wouldn't limit it just to us, but I would definitely say there is a negative image, and I don't know if it's getting better or worse right now. I don't know about that, but I think that it's something that we're always going to deal with. I don't think you can get rid of problems like that, though. But
not overnight, anyway.
I just don't think you can ever. Like, period. It's like ending racism.
That.
Like, that's like such a silly concept. I don't know who first started saying that. It's like ending poverty. What are you doing? It's not possible. But
it puts people in a mindset of trying to win a fight that just can't be won. It's never going to happen.
It's like trying to take the hill, and there's like, I don't know, like 50,000 men on the hill, and you're one man. That's what it's like. It's like, you're never going to take this hill. Just chill out. But I'm not saying don't struggle and fight to improve situations. Do that, but don't have a false reality behind why you're doing something, right? Help someone because it's the right thing to do. That's why I do it, at least. Can't tell anybody else out there what to do, but that's my personal opinion on it.
The best way we could attack this self-hate is just to work on yourself.
Bingo.
If everybody does that, then we won't have to worry about this.
Yes, sir.
Everybody be doing what they doing, and everyone who's coming up underneath you will get a great visual and a great understanding as to what needs to be done. Take care of yourself. Mental health is very important.
Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that brings us into our next topic, man, and the famous and at the same time infamous Kevin Samuels, otherwise known as the Godfather. So, what do y'all think, man? Is Kevin Samuels too hard on his callers?
I don't. That might be a loaded question because look, if you look at because people have, I feel like people have a misunderstanding of Kevin Samuels, because in today's culture, everything is accepted. Everybody is basically has to be crazy nice to each other. And sometimes the truth can get overlooked because we have to be this so accepting society. But I feel like this man tells the truth. I don't agree with everything that he says. Let me just say that first and foremost. I don't agree with everything that he says, but the stuff that people disagree with, it seems like that he is right about. Like some people have too high of an expectation on their soulmates when they're not in the place where they need to be at currently.
That's
So
very true.
I don't think he's too hard on his clients. I think he's just telling the truth, and it's a blunt delivery. But sometimes that's the best way to get the truth, because even though it comes off as hard, it's real.
Yeah, that's valid points. What do you think, DJ?
I don't really watch Kevin Samuels often. I've just seen like some of the popular memes and
Seen the good
short
ones,
videos,
and the juicy
that come
ones.
out. Yeah, in which I mean, speaking from that perspective, I mean, I think delivery is very key in how you advise people.
Very true.
It's very important, what your method of approach with that. But I mean, to be honest, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So if any of his callers have issues with his delivery, then don't call.
Well, as Kevin Samuels was saying,
Right,
no, that's a
exactly.
fact, ma'am. That's like one of his most famous lines. Like, because when people say your opinion, he says, "No, that's a fact." That's one of his things.
That's a
I
fact.
feel you though. I feel you though. What do you think, Will?
Um,
Is he too hard on his callers, man?
so when it comes down to is he too hard on his callers, I don't. I mean, it's very weird to say that someone's too hard on people when you've seen, you know what to expect, and yet you still call this person. It's like you walking into someone's house, they kick you in the chest, and you just come back to their house the next day and wonder why they keep kicking you in the chest. That's how they greet you,
Yep.
by kicking you in the chest. If you don't want to get kicked in your chest, stop pulling up to their crib. That's very weird to me. Now, as far as the way that what he does and how he communicates, and like you said, his delivery to people, I don't know if it's always necessary. I believe that if you feel as though that you are this person who is as high value in the way that you feel about yourself, people could feel it and they can sense it. Like, you don't gotta walk around with the tag hanging off your shirt for people to know, like, oh, this is what this person is worth. Now, if you don't believe that you're worth that, you might want to leave that tag on your shirt so that someone else could believe it. You might have stole that shirt. But if you really know what your worth is, and you really believe and you really live this worth, and you really know it, you don't need to tell anyone. You really don't need to tell anyone. People could sense it. They could smell it in the air. It's potent.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I can't imagine saying that he's hard on his callers. I think if anyone calls into my show to get my opinion about something, even if I'm presenting it as a fact, you know how I am, and you called me for advice. Period. It doesn't matter if I'm lying about the facts or not. You called me for my advice, right? I didn't tell you use me as a source to get your, whatever you needed. You chose this, right? If I buy a pair of jeans and I'm like, yo, I don't like these, and I'm calling Levi to tell him how much I don't like, it's like I bought those. Like, I was a personal choice. It was some other pairs right there and other brands that I could have went with. I chose this one. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say he's too hard, but I 100% agree with DJ. Like, if you truly want advice to be well received, delivery is key, which is why I think his delivery will definitely work on some people, because some people, it's like that idea of tough love, right? Some people actually respond to someone checking them and not just saying, like, being their friend. But I think you will lose others, right? So that's like the best place, I think, is to try to find a middle ground in there somewhere. Like, you hit them with some hard truths, and you maybe pull back a little bit and say, hey, let's move this out. Make sure you understand. Give you some great tips on how to get there. Instead of be like, you're a mess. Like, that's not as helpful and constructive. And it's telling everyone to get counseling. People do need counseling. I'm not going to shy away from that concept. Especially some people I've seen on that show. It's just like, what is your life, man?
He does encourage therapy.
Extremely interesting. But when he did the show, when he was doing the guys, I was thinking like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, people we know need to get it together, and that's probably why they're calling the type of show like this, which is good start. But yeah, his delivery is rough. But I don't think he's too hard. It's his personal opinion, and don't call him if you don't want to hear it.
It's his show.
Period. So don't tell me how to run my show. You can give me ideas and suggestions. I'm gonna take it just as ideas and suggestions. Like, same way you could take my advice is my ideas and suggestions to you. Like, so, deal with that how you will. But so why do y'all think why do a lot of women hate Kevin Samuels?
I think it goes back to what I said a little bit earlier about everything being accepted in today's society. So when you hear something that you don't necessarily want to hear, and I feel like a lot of these women who don't like Kevin Samuels are watching one video and just saying, "Oh no, I'm not listening to this because he can't be talking to her like that." But he talks to men like that. You've seen videos where he's checking men as the same way he's checked women. It's just the harsh reality, I guess, of his message. But I feel like it's just a little bit of ignorance on their part because they're not fully familiar with him. And when he asks these women who don't like him, why you don't like him, they'll say, "Oh, well, I saw you say this," and then he'll ask, "Did you watch the full video as to why I said that? Did you see what I said after that?" And they'll be like, "No." So yeah, it's a little bit of ignorance because you didn't do your homework. That they I mean, it's just like a running headline in a newspaper. Like, a newspaper will take a clip of something, make it the main topic, but completely miss all of the juicy details behind that topic. And sometimes it gets misconstrued. And I feel like this is in a similar regard.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't agree with referencing how he's advising men. Just because personally, I think that how you address men and women should be different. I mean, don't say, okay, I'm going to give the truth to one and the false to another person,
Right.
but just the delivery and the way that you present information, I think that it should be different. Personally, but I don't like this just goes back to the other answer that I said about delivery. I mean, like, I think that they're probably hating him because of his delivery. Like I said, I don't really watch his show, but I think that would go into what I'm hearing from you guys about what people are saying. It's delivery.
Yeah, delivery is a rough one. What about you, Will?
I personally, on this one right here, I don't see any reason why women should be hating him. Just ignore him.
Yeah,
I look at more. It's not even that deep.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I mean, I think it really is that cut and dry. I know why a lot of women hate him. Some people don't like delivery. Some people may not like to hear the truth. I think at certain times, all of us may have heard a truth that we didn't want to hear or want to accept, that you have to eventually learn to accept to move past whatever it is that you were dealing with at that time, right? So sometimes that can be difficult too. So it could be a few reasons why, but ultimately, I think if it's for the reasons like you were saying, Steph, you watched a 15-second clip or 30-second clip, and now you're judging his character, that's kind of foolishness, right? If I don't read the newspaper and just only go through the paper and read headlines, now I don't know what the story actually is, right? Or if I just only read that one story, never look at another source, that's also a problem, right? Like you said, because what if that story misses the important parts too? So it's like, you can't do that either. But it could be a few reasons, but overall, I don't know.
It's like watching a trailer. It's like watching a trailer and think, well, I know what the movie is about. I know everything that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Well, if you look at it from my perspective, you have.
Well, DJ, yeah, I
Yo,
know
trailers.
you hate
I'm
trailers.
team no trailer.
You team no
They're
trailers?
making them longer now.
Yeah.
That's the opposite
It's
direction.
insane. I can't do
Yo,
it. Like,
I
I
saw-
just if I can't tell that I like the movie from
30 seconds or less?
Yes.
20 seconds or
30
less might
seconds.
be
They're
enough.
like minutes now.
They're
like 2 minutes.
2.5
Yeah,
minutes
like 2
for
minutes.
trailers.
That's
I
insane.
saw the movie Tenet. Shout out to Tenet being one of the worst movies that we've ever watched. It was so convoluted and complicated unnecessarily. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to touch the acting. I just want to talk about when I saw the preview, they had the best scenes in that preview. But the story and the rest of it was just
That was
like
it.
Crazy.
it's like brain fried. That's how I felt after watching that joint. I'm gonna rewatch it just to give it another take, but I don't know about that one. But anyway, so y'all think he'll get canceled at some point overall? Or y'all think he's just out of here next year?
And yeah, I think it might be inevitable, honestly, because he's probably too blunt for today's society. He's an older gentleman, so his delivery is probably, I mean, it's what has delivery would be.
You better start claiming that old age joint. We protecting classes now, so protect them old people. Like,
Hey, it's nothing wrong with being old. You're just wiser. So
well, you should be. It's a difference.
yeah,
Some people just get old.
Some people just get old.
I didn't
Shout
want
out
to
to
say
all the
that.
old
You
people
said
out
that.
there.
I didn't say that.
Team up with some wise people. But
It might be true though.
like, so you think it's inevitable? What about you, DJ?
I really can't speak on it based on, my knowledge of his show. But I can tell you what, people who are getting bad mouth a lot, it doesn't take much to get them out the door.
Yeah. What about you, Will?
I don't know if he'll get canceled in this day and age. Because things could go really either way. Some people love to hate so much that they might just keep him around just so they could continue hating him. But some people might just say, you know what? We might need to do away with him just because we don't need anyone to think that this is what we need more of. Do I believe he should be canceled? Absolutely not. I don't think that anybody should get canceled for speaking their mind. If you have a problem with what he said, like I said last round, turn him off. Yeah. Like, why? Like, just turn him off. There's a million things that I disagree with. And you know what? I just don't watch him. I tune out. You don't get my attention because if you hate him this much, you talking about him more, you're creating more of a conversation, and you're only making his platform even larger. So if like you have a big problem with him, just agree to just not even pay attention to him. Like whatever platform you have, you should be able to have that platform exist in this country. Period.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think if your platform is not hate speech, like literally telling people, inciting violence,
right?
Like you should be able to say whatever ludicrous comment comes to your mind. Mm-hmm. You should be able to say it and spout it. And if people are willing to call in and participate with you, that's consent. That is the definition of consent. That's like someone coming to my house and saying, "Is Brandon Patterson home?" I'm like, "Yeah, what you want, punk?" You're like, "Oh, you accosted me." It's like, how? Like, you came to my house and asked for me specifically. So
why you put the emphasis on consent like that? Nah, that's mad funny.
Like,
I'm sorry.
it was on my soul just now, man. Because I wholeheartedly, and the whole time, Will, I wanted to go get the box so you can stand up and be heard because that's so major. I'm so big on freedom of speech, and I just feel like it's definitely a potential he could be canceled. It's definitely. I wouldn't say inevitable. I know why you're saying it. I would just say potential because I know you have to be so careful about what you post and what you talk about. You know, it's like last episode when we talked about a sensitive topic of vaccinations and things. You have to be careful on that because somebody might try to say you're spreading misinformation just because you shared your opinion about something. Mm-hmm. That's so dangerous and counterintuitive to freedom of speech. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you don't want freedom of speech, there are plenty of places in the world. Mm-hmm. We talked about it on episode 1. were a place where people were jumping on airplanes to get away from that level of censorship. And here we are as a culture trying to move towards that scary level of censorship where, I mean, because getting canceled from something like what he does, that's his job. That's his job now. That's like a source of income, his revenue. You know, he can't, if he can't monetize this talent that he has of speaking, public speaking, because it is a talent. You know, whether you like his talent or not, it's a talent that he has. So it just becomes dangerous. But I don't know. He might or may not. But we'll just have to see how it goes, man. Shout out to the Godfather, man. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't get canceled.
You said,
Yeah, no, I really am. He's good entertainment. I'm not gonna lie.
he's hilarious. I can't say I watch him every day or anything like that, but he entertains me. But
Right.
our last topic, I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly. You know, still on image. You know, just talking about you know, what it means. Can wearing makeup be compared to growing a beard? Let's talk about some natural stuff. Let's get into some natural cosmetic.
I did see there was it comes around every so often on my timeline, where women are comparing wearing makeup, and they're making it equivalent to growing a beard, and I just found that hilarious. I'm not gonna hold you. I really just found that hilarious. Like they showed pictures of Drake side by side. You know, there was when he was younger, he didn't have a beard when he was first in the game. Now he got the full beard. Like, now you can't tell me this isn't on the same level as makeup. How? He didn't go out to the store and buy this joint. This man grew this. He goes to sleep every night to grow it. You don't grow makeup. You can't grow foundation. You can't grow lip. I mean, I don't have a problem with lip gloss. It's too much foundation. I was just on a date 2 days ago, and we go to this burger spot. Mrs. Sizzle is actually a great spot for burgers if you ever want to get some good burgers. Great Impossible burger. Delicious. Tastes like the real thing. But anyway, the date pulls up, plastered. What plastered? I'm not even gonna hold you. Plastered in makeup. And I'm just looking at her. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Nice to finally meet you. And a couple minutes into conversation, she says, well, I'm not gonna lie, you seem like you're kind of mean. And I'm just like, oh, really? I didn't know I was getting off that vibe. I mean, I did know I was giving off this vibe because in my head I'm thinking, why are you coming over here plastered in so much makeup that from your face, like I can see the different color of your neck over here. Like, it was just it was two contradicting colors. I'm just like, yo, you got a bunch of baby powder on your face.
One of these.
Like, this is like for me, I'm not gonna completely abolish makeup. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But is there a limit? Is there a limit? That's all I want to know.
It's
That's
like driving on the
wanna
highway.
know.
There's no limits. People speeding all over the place, taking advantage, man. What'd you think, DJ?
To be honest, I didn't even know that this conversation was being had. This is such a preposterous.
Speak about it. Speak about it.
Like I can't even compare the two. I can't even begin to have the conversation to compare the two because I put them in such different hemispheres. I mean, if there was one common ground, it would be just how you look and image. But you can't just put that general projection for this conversation. Like I really don't see that. So my answer is no. You can't compare makeup to having a beard.
Okay.
That's my answer.
I feel like Will's gonna be a wild card in this one. Will, what you got, man?
This also, like, just the same. I didn't know this was even a real thing.
I've seen this in mad times.
This sounds very weird, because like it's less natural for me to cut my beard than it is for me to grow it.
Oh man.
But you have to go out and buy these different. I don't even know all of the names. It's so many. Like, you have all these different fixtures for themselves, but I really think that this is just absolutely absurd to even consider this to even be a conversation. You said that they are comparing his non-facial hair picture to his facial hair picture.
Yeah, not just him. It's other men as well. Like
He just be getting
they'll have
the
before
worst.
and afters. Like say they've been working out for a while, and in that meantime they grew a beard. They'll do that comparison. I'm just like, yo,
What?
y'all are not serious. It's no
Nah.
way y'all have convinced yourselves that
That's-
this is on the same level
That's
when you
weird.
could go buy that at the
To
store.
me,
Right.
all right. So that's very weird. If you want to wear makeup, just wear the makeup. Don't
Swear.
come up with these ridiculous little comparisons because you sound foolish. Just say you're doing what you want to do because this is your face and this is your body. Don't come on here talking about a beard is the same thing as wearing all of these different things, these mixes that come from different fruits and animals and toxins and chemicals that you gotta jar
It
up.
might
and
cause
then-
you to grow that beard.
Yeah, like yo, you sound like a nut. I'm gonna go on.
I'm gonna go with I think it can definitely be compared, and I think we live in such a crazy society, in such a weird, convoluted world where anything could just go with anything now in people's minds, and then you can just gain support for it. It can be anything you want, and people can be swayed to believe this crazy opinion. I had somebody give an opinion earlier. Somebody posted about they found out their child was bullying kids at school, so they pulled over in the middle of traffic, pulled over to the side, and beat the crap out their kid. Took them back to school and made them apologize.
So now you just bully the kid.
That's what I put. I responded. I was like, so the lesson you taught was don't bully, because I'm going to bully you. I was like, what? Where's the logic here? Is it just the biggest bully wins? Or the bully with the most people wins? Like, what lesson did your child learn other than my mom crazy? My mom might be crazy. She pulled over in traffic just to OD whoop me. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know about the idea of pulling over into in traffic and doing that, but I mean,
It's
the
happened to
lesson-
us.
They were thinking realistically because you're going to play the other side of the coin.
That's what she said.
Is teaching him not
That
to
you
do
don't
that.
like? Yeah,
You're
this
not
doesn't
going to
feel
do
good,
this.
does it?
Yeah, it's not going to happen, or else this is going to happen to you. Would you like it if this happened to you? And I wanted to say, I'm happy that you answered the question technically as you did. So let me put it to you like this: should wearing makeup be compared to wearing a beard?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I love the way you
Okay,
guys
'cause you-
answered it. I just wanted to throw that extra
Yeah,
perspective in there,
alright.
just because I
That's
know the
kinda-
world
yes.
we live in, man.
Yeah.
It's like
You threw me off with that.
these
I ain't gonna
things
lie.
are. I got a little technical, I did, but that's the world we live in, where people like to get super technical about everything you say, and so they dissect it. But yeah, they in these people's crazy minds who think they're toppling, on the verge of sage wisdom. That's what they thought.
You sound like a nut.
With that being said,
Your thoughts.
are weave and extensions something that makes women beautiful? Well, what you think?
This is a rough one. I believe that confidence makes someone. It can make someone very much more beautiful than what they even could have started at. Now, do I think that it's necessary for you to use weave and extensions to get there? I think that people can get there in many different ways. I don't necessarily agree with weave and extensions being the main focal point of you arriving at this destination. But to each his own at the end of the day. If this is what your journey requires, I want you to be your best person, to be honest.
I'm not really. I'm not gonna say that I completely disagree with it, just because I know that they're looked at as protective hairstyles, and I know that it can actually grow their hair. So with that said, I'm not gonna say I'm completely against it. What I will say is I'm not really a big fan of wigs, because I can see clearly that's not you. At least I have some convincing with extensions, but the extensions that's more of a natural look to me, and I'm all for natural. So I'm definitely condoning extensions. Wear that as much as you like.
It can be.
I mean, it can have a natural look to it, especially with the little. I'm not sure what the word is. The label is kinky twists or braids, but
Right.
yeah, I definitely love those on women.
Yeah, I don't agree with weaving extensions. I think that natural is the way to go, and that's just my take on it. I mean, does it make women beautiful? I mean, like Will said, it's in the eye of the it's in the eye of the beholder. You know, it's to each his own. You know, that's just not what I condone.
I hear you. I say it's definitely that, but shout out to the women that know how to get good weaves and extensions. And everyone else who's messing up in the game right now, go holler at those women who are doing it right. Because it's always a right and wrong way to do everything. And it can make women beautiful. I'm 100% for that. Like, I agree with the question. It can make them beautiful. Like, it's just how you're going about it, right? You can go get a sweater, but then there are also ugly sweater parties. So, like, it's a right and a wrong way or a funny way to do it. I don't think most people mean it as a joke. It can just come off that way sometimes. But yeah, it definitely can make a woman beautiful. You know, once I started realizing how many actresses actually have that, it does make them look nicer because then you get that image of them coming out like getting their coffee or something, and they just be looking extra rough. But I personally like a natural look though. Go natural, love who you are. But it's not to say that some things can enhance who you are as well. It's just like don't go too far, right?
Yeah.
Like with the makeup thing, don't be able to pull a mask off, or if I scratch you, like my fingernails full. Like those type of things maybe are like over the top, but you know, like that. But last question of the night, gentlemen. Is it really a problem in modern society? This fighting the natural look? Is there a fight for the natural look and is it a problem? Like are people opposed to this natural look? And is that causing them problem, you think?
I don't know what people are. Well, to be honest, you know, it differs from. It's going to vary from person to person what people think. But I think that it should be accepted more because we are who we are. You know, we should be grateful for what we have. You know, there are people who, there may be people who have been born with or have you know difficulties with certain things, which I'm not opposed to people who have those complications or issues. You know, pursuing this method of beautifying themselves, but I think people who are healthy, their body is able to, you know, grow hair and they just need to take care of it. You know, you have to take care of it because I think that there are ways that you can grow your hair naturally. I mean, vitamins, herbal remedies, you know, stuff you can put in your hair to do that. Not perming, you know, these are things that you can do to, you know, to beautify yourself without adding the extensions and the weave. So that's just my own personal opinion, but I mean, that's it. Yeah.
I think it only poses as a problem when there are unwarranted opinions or preferences, usually coming from men, and some women don't appreciate that, and they'll say that, I mean, they're doing it for them, and I don't necessarily agree with that answer that they're doing it for them because I mean obviously you're looking good for somebody, but I feel like they convince themselves that they literally are doing it for them. But I mean I feel like we're talking about image. They want a certain image that people like. So yeah, the only problem is when a man is a naysayer to it. I feel like.
How so? What do you mean by that?
I mean that men's opinions are not often respected on women's image. That's what I mean.
It's an interesting point. What do you think, Will?
Is it really a problem in modern society? Mm, it's an interesting one. I think that there's enough people out here in this modern society that whatever you want, you can find it. And like I was mentioning earlier, like that we've created a platform with social media now that if you want to only see people with a bun, you can find everyone who has a bun. If you want long hair, you can find all long hair, short hair, locks, perms, colorful hairs. You should be able to find it now. I do see how it does create a problem in certain ways, whereas people are willing to spend their last and go hungry and not feed their children and not clothe their children or pay their rent to go spend $300 on a hairdo or $400 week by week, living above their means, trying to support hairstyles that I'm not going to say it's not necessary because it obviously makes them feel a certain way. And how they would feel if they didn't have these things, we might see someone who feels very bad about themselves. We might be reading about them in the news. And now, I don't know how much helpful that would be.
Not at all.
But yeah, I mean, is it a problem in modern society? I think it's going to be a biggest problem as people allow it to be.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's definitely a problem where if someone doesn't like themselves naturally who they are. Like I said before, like getting a nice sweater or putting in a nice weave or extension or putting on lipstick, like things like that, like it's those things can enhance your beauty. It's just don't go too far. Like when you go too far, I feel like going too far is like a sense of not deeply liking your natural self. So much so that you're putting on a costume that completely changes the way you're perceived by reality when you step out the door. We always talk about that one story of the guy who sued the mother of his children because his kids came out too ugly. And it's like such a ridiculous story, but it's because she had like, what is it, like
Mad
10
surgery.
major surgeries.
Yeah.
Like she had so much plastic surgery, she started looking like a 9.
He won.
And he
Yeah.
thought he had one. And he won. And so it's like, it's so silly. Like
I
it
remember
can't
hearing about
be
that. That was
that
crazy.
level. You hear about the guys who inject the stuff into their arms
Oh,
for the fake
yeah, the
mo-
oil.
I seen the fake pecs and I'm like, dude, I'm
looks
going home right
ridiculous.
now to do some push-ups. Go home and do push-ups. Don't go to the doctor and spend $50K or whatever it is to get fake stuff put in your chest, gentlemen. The same with women. It's like love who you are before you decide to take risks like that. Like don't go overboard. Like you hear about the K Michelle thing. It's too many stories to count. We'd be here all night. But it's definitely a problem in my opinion.
I'm sorry. Speaking of
you go.
enhancements, recently there's been a statistic going around. There's been an uprising of BBLs, Brazilian butt lifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm
So-
not up on the lingo.
Yeah. There's been an uprising of Brazilian butt lifts, and women are blaming men for this.
Wow.
So when I saw that, I honestly just couldn't help but laugh because I just said this a little bit earlier that women are doing these things, looking better than their means for themselves. So how do you turn around and try to blame men for this? It's a little bit beyond me because
I've heard this argument.
you just said you was doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
So now that there's uprising, everybody's getting it in their complications. It's the man's fault.
Yeah. I've heard this before where people are saying that this is what men want. It's the same argument. I might not have heard it specifically with the BBLs, but I've heard this argument that this is what men want. And I'm always like so confused. I'm like, geez, I definitely feel like a man today. Like I definitely feel like I woke up as one as we're having this conversation and you're telling me. and like I have a group of I have a bevy of male friends and family members. It's like I don't talk to any of this. Like my next chick gotta have that fake butt. Like she got to. Like she just something about it. Gotta have that. It's like no one ever has come to me with that sort of like statistic.
No.
Man, if she don't remove at least one rib, I can't date her. She's not gonna look right in a bikini. It's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, oh, I need my chick to wear mad makeup. You know what I mean? That's the only way I can love her the way she need to be loved. Like, it's just like, come on, man. That's a terrible excuse. I will accept the I'm doing it for myself one. And I think that one, it just shows up in how excessive they get.
I accept it as well, but don't turn around and try to blame men if you're doing it for yourself.
That's ludicrous.
That's my thing. That's my issue right there. If you're doing it for yourself, then stick with that.
Facts.
Just stick with that. Don't try to flip the script and try to blame the opposite sex. It has nothing to do with us. You're trying to attain an image that you think is desirable because you see so many likes on it on Instagram. So don't try to blame men for this. This is your decision.
Yeah, don't go too far. That's the moral of that story. But the moral of our story is episode 3 has come to another close. It's another week, gentlemen. We made it to 3.
Yes, sir.
3. Episode 3, man. This is epic for us, man. Not only is 3 a great number, you know, it took a while to get to this point, man. I'm so glad that, you know, we got together on this one and really started pumping these joints out. And, you know, we hope to give you guys many more. Keep bringing it to you weekly content. Anybody have any closing remarks they want to drop out?
Sure, you tuning in.
Yeah, I would just say keep
Definitely.
tuning in.
Content every week.
Yes, we thank you for your contributions thus far, especially with our we're still new to this game, so any support is good, and we are vastly appreciative of it.
Very much so.
I like to just say, for everybody out there listening and checking in, continue to be great and continue to be you.
Absolutely. And that's it from us here at the Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. You enjoy.